Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Top Notch Show. I'm your host, Sam. I am
Mr. Success.
It's Monday, it's President's Day, and it's Black History Month. Coming up, I picked a historical icon to discuss, things we need to know, and some congratulations on some achievements made. All coming up on the Top Notch Show.
Yeah. It feels so good to be successful. Welcome to the Top Notch Show. Before we talk this talk, we gotta walk this walk. I came a long way, I got a lot to say.
Yes, sir. Welcome, everyone, on this President's Day, celebrating Black History Month on the Top Notch Show. Blackness is not just February. Happy Monday, everyone, and I'm going to jump right into things. Isaiah T. Montgomery. And here to help me discuss a little bit about Mr. Montgomery is Lady Sophisticated. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And let's just jump right into the things because my Bayou, Mississippi, I picked this because I got strong family roots from here. So go ahead, explain to the people and tell them a little bit about this here.
Okay, this is going to be a great read for today. This is about Isaiah T. Montgomery. Isaiah Thornton Montgomery was an African-American leader best known for founding the all-black town of Mound Bayou, Mississippi, and for his public endorsement of black disenfranchisement. Montgomery was born enslaved on May 21st, 1847, to Benjamin Thornton and Mary Lewis Montgomery on the Hurricane Plantation at Davis Bend, an area along the Mississippi River near Vicksburg, Mississippi. Hurricane Plantation was owned by Joseph E. Davis, the older brother of future Confederate States of American President Jefferson Davis. Benjamin and Mary were unusual for the era. They were both born in Africa, they were both literate, and had access to Joseph Davis's extensive library. They passed that literacy on to their son Isaiah. By the beginning of the Civil War, Hurricane Plantation had 350 enslaved people, including Montgomery and his parents. His father, Benjamin, was the plantation mechanic, machinist, and wholesaler in New Orleans, Louisiana. He also managed its cotton transactions and those at Jefferson Davis's nearby Briarfield plantation. Young Isaiah worked as Joseph Davis's valet and clerk from 1857 to the beginning of the Civil War in 1861. By 1862, as Union forces steadily moved down the Mississippi River from Memphis and upriver from occupied New Orleans, Joseph Davis fled the region, leaving Benjamin Thornton to manage the plantations. Eventually, the Montgomerys fled as well to Union-occupied territory and then to Cincinnati, Ohio. Isaiah Montgomery, however, remained on the Union vessel that transported his parents north and eventually served as Union Naval Admiral David D. Porter's cabin boy. In 1865, after the war ended, 18-year-old Isaiah reunited with his parents at Davis Bend, along with other former Hurricane and Briarfield plantation ex-slaves. The community began to successfully farm land they had formerly worked as slaves, but now controlled as freed people. In 1867, led by Benjamin and Isaiah Montgomery, they raised $300,000 to purchase Hurricane and Briarfield from a now nearly destitute Joseph E. Davis. Under the leadership of Benjamin and Isaiah Montgomery, Davis Bend, as the two plantations were called, became a community of cooperation, as these freed people made the area one of the region's top cotton producers. This unique experiment lasted until 1877, when hardening racial politics combined with falling cotton prices, floods, and the death of Benjamin Montgomery sent Davis Bend into rapid decline. For the next decade, Isaiah Montgomery searched for another Mississippi location where he could establish an independent black community. In 1887, Montgomery and cousin Benjamin Green co-founded Mound Bayou. For 25 years, this 30,000-acre colony in northwest Mississippi was home to nearly 800 black farmers. Montgomery was Mound Bayou's patriarch, protecting it from white terrorism through political cooperation with white supremacist politicians and businessmen. In 1890, for example, while serving as the only black delegate to the Mississippi Constitutional Convention, he publicly endorsed the disenfranchisement of 123,000 black voters, hoping to trade their rights for protection from Mound Bayou from neighboring white encroachments and violence. His accommodation to disfranchisement was praised as pragmatic by white political leaders north and south, but he was harshly criticized by northern black leaders like T. Thomas Fortune. One rising black southern leader, Booker T. Washington, however, was inspired by Montgomery's actions and promoted the strategy in his Atlanta Compromise speech in 1895. Unlike Washington, Montgomery never completely repudiated black political participation. In 1904, at the age of 57, he served as a Mississippi delegate to the Republican National Convention, and the following year, he persuaded President Theodore Roosevelt to briefly visit Mound Bayou by train. Nonetheless, for the next 2 decades, Montgomery remained publicly silent on the Jim Crow laws sweeping across his region. When he died March 5th, 1924, at his home in Mound Bayou, he was praised by a few prominent planter politicians and unmourned by African Americans beyond his circle of family and friends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Miss Lady Sophisticated, let me ask you, out of reading all this, I'm kind of familiar with the past of my body. Like I said, I got strong family roots from there. What intake did you get out of this here?
Well, the main thing takeaway that I believe is the fact that this black man and his mother and father, they thrived. They didn't just survive, they thrived in a time when there was no hope, there was no help. Right. And they parlayed that into being literate, to taking that literacy and turning that into ownership of land and being landowners. So I'm really just I'm impressed and I'm in awe that at a time that we're in right now in 2022, and we're seeing our rights slowly being pulled away, that at that time over 200 years ago he thrived and did good.
That's what's up. And I would like to thank you for your intake on this and for reading it out for me and everything. And I would love to have you again as a guest on my show.
Anytime. I would love to do this again. I had a great time reading this, and I hope everyone took something away from this to see that, no matter where you are at your station in life, right now you can always build upon what you have. And, it's never over until it's over. So just keep doing what you're doing and just keep believing in black past, Black people, black progress.
Yes. There you have it, folks. I'm going to actually try to get someone from my Bayou next week to talk a little bit more about this so we can get a little bit more understanding. Like I said, I got strong family roots from my Bayou. My grandfather and grandmother's family was there, and actually it was my late great father Scorpio Red's hometown. A lot of people, the way he acted here in Chicago, you would never guess that he was a little country boy. But I heard farming mentioned up in this, and this is definitely something I want to hear a little bit more about. And like I say, I got family from there that can elaborate a little bit more than I can about that, because I could count the times I didn't actually been to my Bayou. I used to go there every year when I was a kid, but that'll be something interesting. I actually have two people in mind from both sides of the family that I would love to get to tell a little bit about this, especially this one in particular. He got so much to say over the phone and stuff. I want to see if he actually going to say it on whether we do video or over the phone again. I want to see if he want to do an interview. He be telling me about this, that, and the other. I want to see if he would like to tell the people about this, that, and the other. So, and before we get out of here, I'd like to give a special notice of achievement for this week is Stephen Robinson Jr. He's actually the son of my barber, and it reads right here. You can see it up on the screen. Urban Prep Academy, Inglewood Campus, Honor Roll Certificate. So this is pretty good, with this pandemic going on and still to be able to achieve stuff like this, I thought that it is good to put this news out there, especially Inglewood. You hear all the negativity coming out of Inglewood. I just like to spread a little joy coming out of Inglewood. Stephen Robinson Jr., and he also is a great football player, folks. I checked him out. I didn't check him out none this year playing with last year. Checked him out the season before. They're a great guy, got a promising future ahead of him, man. Shout out to my little niece, Jalen Jackson. She's been having straight A's for the last, it started all during the pandemic, but it was like a couple of years before the pandemic. She was always having straight A's. I've been asking you to get that to me, little niece. Get that to me before I could show the world this here too for you. So it's always good to show, especially when the kids are doing something. Grown-ups, if you got something good, you like for me to share and put out there that's going on, whether you're from Chicago or wherever. I just like to spread good news, especially when it's coming from our community, and encourage others to want to do well. So, that's my show for today, but make sure you tune in next Monday as I got more on black farming and how to get into it as we celebrate Black History Month. Hopefully you learned something from this. If you did, tell a friend, share it, and like it. Follow me on Facebook at Sammy Bo Thompson, IG and YouTube, Sammy Mr. Success Thompson. You know my motto: when you get Mr. Success, you always have a ball. If I can't tell the truth, there's nothing at all. Mr. Success, bringing pleasure, no stress. Until next week, y'all.